empires clashed, walls trembled, and the chosen people often mistook chosenness for ownership. Yet the Holy One seemed determined to write redemption in the margins. In Jericho, beneath walls thick enough to mock heaven, lived Rahab. Not a priestess, not a princess, a prostitute in a doomed city. When two Israelite spies slipped through the gates, she hid them beneath flax on her roof while soldiers pounded at her door. "I know," she whispered to the trembling men, "that your God is God above and below." It was a confession braver than any sword. When the trumpets later circled Jericho and the walls folded like cloth, one scarlet cord fluttered from her window like a banner of defiance against despair. Rahab stepped from rubble into covenant, from outsider to ancestor of kings. Her name later carried into the genealogy of Jesus himself. Mercy had crossed enemy lines. Years passed, and across the border in Aram marched Naaman, decorated, feared, and rotting from the skin outward with leprosy. A captive Israelite girl, small in status but mighty in faith, pointed him toward the prophet Elisha. Naaman arrived expecting spectacle. Instead, he was told to bathe in the muddy Jordan. "Are not our rivers better?" he scoffed. But pride cannot cure what humility can. 7 dips later, the warrior rose with skin like a child's and a confession on his lips. There is no God in all the earth but in Israel. The conqueror had been conquered not by armies but by grace. Then came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, builder of monuments and breaker of nations. He burned Jerusalem, plundered the temple, and erected an idol tall enough to rival his ego. Yet dreams haunted him, visions interpreted by Daniel, warnings wrapped in mercy. When pride swelled beyond remedy, his sanity fled. The mighty monarch grazed like an ox until heaven restored his reason. At last he lifted his eyes and declared the King of Heaven sovereign over all kingdoms. The tyrant became a testimony. And in Judah, King Manasseh defiled his own temple, shedding innocent blood and bowing to foreign gods. Captured in chains and dragged to Babylon, he found what power never gave him: repentance. In prison he prayed. In mercy he was restored. The idol maker became a reformer. Rahab the harlot, Naaman the raider, Nebuchadnezzar the destroyer, Manasseh the corrupter. Each stood once as enemy. Of Israel, of righteousness, of God's own heart. Yet heaven's mercy proved larger than walls, wider than rivers, stronger than empires, deeper than dungeons. The lesson resounds through ruins and palaces alike. No lineage is too pagan, no uniform too foreign, no throne too proud, no past too stained. When humility bows, grace rises, and the God of Israel still writes his finest stories with unlikely ink. Thank you.